Hello, everyone. Welcome to the For Love and Nerds podcast. I'm here with Sarah Lee. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for joining me today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. So, obviously, I know you do a bit of modeling and acting. So, what attracted you to those career paths?
Actually, I'm a mega introvert.
Oh,
So
okay.
putting myself in these sort of outside roles and situations have always made me feel more comfortable
All
within
right.
myself because I was able to play different roles or different characters. And, the acting and modeling world, you get to meet other artistic people who are very much like yourself. And so
Yeah.
it's a great community to feel accepted in, especially when you are a shyer person like I am.
I totally get that. And obviously, I've seen some of your work in Cobra Kai. So, what attracted you to a show like that?
Really just the people behind it. I'm in video production myself. I'm a video editor. So
Okay, right.
I know how much work it takes to bring something like that to life
Yeah.
and to have a family vibe behind it and everyone working so hard towards the same goal. It makes you as an artist want to work even harder and do your job even better because you have this family behind you backing you and believing in you, and you just want to do the best you can to continue to tell this story that everyone loves.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's awesome to hear. How long were you involved with Cobra Kai for?
Just season 4, it was actually a very last minute thing.
Okay.
So I come from a more of a modeling background. And so my modeling agent called me with this job, and she was very unfamiliar with Cobra Kai. But of course,
Oh,
I was a fan of it since before it was on Netflix.
yeah.
So I knew instantly and told her, like, please, 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 like, get me an interview with the casting director. Like, I would love this. And she was like, all right, all right, like, calm down. So we did, and they accepted me for the role, and it was a really great experience. I've said several times, like they say, don't meet your heroes, but meet all of those people if you ever get a chance
Yeah.
at Comic-Con or whatever. They are all so lovely and incredible. And yeah, it's just great to have a legend like Johnny Lawrence take the time out of his day to help someone not as established in the acting world do a really good job and feel a part of this legendary story that
Yeah.
has existed since before I was even born. So to have that acceptance and that welcoming from this community of just absolute legends was incredible.
That's really good to hear. And obviously, you said obviously you grew up with these films, obviously meeting Zabka on set. Did he live up to the guy you always thought he would be? Obviously, because on your screen he was a bully in the Karate Kid, and obviously he's a nice guy in the Cobra Kai series. So did it reflect when you first met him?
Absolutely. He is Johnny Lawrence. Like, he is just absolutely that character
Oh, okay.
in real life. And I think that's why he plays it so well, because it's him. And he is just so funny and charming, but in the most realistic, down to earth way. And someone who's had a career as long as he has,
Yeah.
but yet has been able to maintain um, his family and a private life and juggle all of the things that so many people struggle with is just a testament to how professional he is and what a genuine good-hearted person he is. And that's hard to find in this world, especially in this industry.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everyone that's ever spoke about Zabka when I've had him on the podcast, they've always said the same thing. He's a generous guy. He's funny. He's just everything you want from a guy you've been brought with watching on screen. So that's really good to hear, obviously, from yourself as well. And in the modeling aspect of your career, why, and how did you get involved with that whole world?
So I had a speech impediment until I was like 6, couldn't talk at
Okay,
all. And so I was kind of put into, some modeling school, like training, just to kind of break me out of my shell.
right.
And I fell in love with it. And for me, it's always been redefining beauty standards. And, it can be such a cutthroat industry. And I'm always someone who totally believes that anyone can do whatever it is they want in life. So I wanted to be that person, no matter how it went for me, that was going to stand up for everyone who has a dream, because it's totally possible to do whatever you want in life.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's kind of how I got started. And so I did a little bit of modeling, did some pageants, and always took acting classes throughout
Right.
my training. And, you know, when I spent 10 years in Minnesota, and I was actually a professional NFL cheerleader.
Oh,
And
nice.
after that experience, it opened some more doors for me that kind of lended itself to my acting training. And I realized this was more the direction I think my adult life is going. And it's so much fun to just connect with amazing directors and, you know, everyone behind the camera. That's really what I love about it, is everyone who makes it happen. Like I said, just because I know how hard it is, and
Yeah,
you
I get
really
that.
have to have a passion to show up every day. And not every day is pretty on set, and make these stories a reality that we all enjoy so much.
Yeah, that's really good to hear. And is modeling a really demanding and hard career, would you say, for yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many. It's a lot better now than it was, say, in the 90s
Right.
when I was really in it, and things, you know, like Sports Illustrated swimsuit has really done a lot to redefine what it is to be a swimsuit model. And, you know, I was told a lot throughout my youth that I was too short, too fat, not enough this, not enough that. And it's super hard. And as women and as girls, like, we face so much, like,
Yeah.
already in the beauty industry and what we're supposed to look like. And so it's really great to see MJ and all of them over at Sports Illustrated redefining what that looks like. And, you know, you have amazing models of all ages, all sizes, and, you know, mothers like myself. So yeah, so that, I love that. And I guess that would be my next goal, I would say, is to get involved with that family and keep driving this mission to help other women and people of all sorts who have something they want to do, whether it's acting or modeling or behind the camera or just anything in the entertainment industry in general.
That's really good to hear, and it's amazing to see how passionate you are about pushing for these things, for giving other people opportunities that they necessarily wouldn't be able to get any other way. That's really good to hear.
I think the number one question I get, like in my DMs and stuff like that, is, oh my gosh, how did you like get a part of Cobra Kai? Like, it's my dream. I would love to just be an extra or an
Yeah,
audience member. And people don't think that it's possible for them, but there is so much opportunity and room in this industry for everyone.
yeah.
If you know, are headstrong enough to see it through and deal with the rejection that comes a lot of the time, like, there is room for you, and anyone can be a part of these awesome things like Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I agree. And streaming platforms have created even more jobs for actors. You know, there's like HBO Max, Netflix, Disney Plus. There's so many jobs going these days. So, like you said, so many more people can be able to go for the jobs they've always wanted. Even if it is an extra or a background actor, it's still
Yeah.
in the projects they want to be part of.
Yeah, and I love seeing like up and coming production companies and things. Like, I love like kind of amateur horror, you know,
Yeah,
and I love seeing these young directors and these students that are making these things that become like blockbuster hits,
yeah.
because there's now so many ways to tell your story and to get it out there, whereas before it required a giant budget and knowing the right people in the industry and stuff like that. So it's super cool
Yeah.
how artists have more of a platform these days.
No, I agree. You say that because there was a film called Terrifier. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that was a budget of like, I think it was like 600K for the first film, and now they've got a budget of like 80 million for the sequel. So it's amazing to see what they achieved from such a small budget, like you said, obviously.
Yeah. And I work on a lot of indie films actually,
Oh,
because
cool.
me, it's great working on these like big productions. And I've been fortunate to work with so many amazing directors that I'm lucky enough to call my friends now, and they give me so much advice, and they're just amazing people. But working with the young artists who have that like passion and that hunger to tell a story. I love that. And I
Yeah.
love being a part of that, of a small crew that's just all working together to create something that they genuinely love.
Yeah.
And, no matter how big it is, I just love that. I love telling stories. I always say I'm a storyteller. And no matter if that's me being behind the camera or in front of the camera, or telling story through photos, like I just love it so much.
Oh, that's good to hear. And obviously, you said you like doing stories. Would writing or directing be something you'd like to take on down the line?
Yeah, I have a lot of ideas. And I do my day-to-day job, I do video editing. So I do a lot of filming as well, but less filming since I moved to Florida.
Okay.
Now I just do a whole lot of editing, which I love because I get to spend more time at home in my office with my dog.
Of course.
Which is great when you're an introvert to get to work from home. It's
Yeah.
awesome. But yeah, I have some ideas and some things I'd like to do in the future. I have a couple of bigger productions that I'm a part of that are unfortunately getting pushed back a little bit because of COVID.
Of course.
But, so yeah, I have some things that I'm working on, and then I have some passion projects that I would like to start up again.
That's very cool. So what are you currently focused on right now?
Oh, I can't say.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you'll know it when you see it, I guess is all I can say about it.
That's fair enough.
Something super exciting along the fantasy genre. So again, like I love sci-fi, I love fantasy. I'm a huge board game nerd. So like I love all of those sort of things. So it's super exciting for me.
Nice, very cool. Oh, so are you into like are you like a LARP fan? Like a live action role play?
Yep.
Yeah.
I've played lots of Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. I have like I'm currently staring at, let's see, I have Warhammer Quest, I have Troy, I have let's see, Descent, I have Eldritch Horror, just kind of staring at me in my office right now.
Nice.
So
well, Warhammer's the one where you can sort of like paint your own figurines and stuff, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
I remember Henry Cavill talking about it on a TV show because he's such a nerd for that stuff.
I know that. I mean, he's great. And he went out for the role in The Witcher because of what a big fan he was of the video game, which I just think is incredible. Like,
as you said, it makes it that better when you're a nerd or a fan of the show or project you're going for. It makes it that much easier.
Absolutely. You have to, it lets you understand the audience too. Like in Minnesota, Tower Games, they make board games. They have their set up in Minnesota. And so I would just go and play games, and they had an awesome like craft beer and like food area. It was just so much fun to do on like a Tuesday night. And that is who, that's your audience. And you have to know your audience and the heart of the background of all of these amazing stories to be able to really jump in and play it. And Henry, especially, he does such a great job with The Witcher. Like that whole cast is just amazing.
Yeah, it is. I recently started watching it the past couple of weeks because I put it off for ages. But then when season 2 came out, I went to watch it. So yeah, he's done a fantastic job, Henry. He's just amazing.
Yeah, it's actually got me back in the video game.
Okay.
Yeah, because season 2, you're kind of budding up to Witcher 3. And so it made me excited to get back into the video game, which is, so much fun.
Yeah, well, they're amazing themselves. They've done amazing for years. So
yeah.
So you've obviously I said you've done your modeling, you've done your acting, you've been involved with Cobra Kai. What would you say are some of your highlights from your career that stand out to you when you look back?
I mean, definitely Cobra Kai. That was just a legendary experience. Also working with Kyle Adrian Scott and David Makes Man. He is just a legendary director himself. And that whole cast and that story is just incredible. And I was so excited to see them get picked up from the Oprah Winfrey Network. Now they're on HBO Max. And that is just, I fingers crossed they get another season, because I would love to be a part of that ensemble again, because Kyle, like I said, just an amazing person who has taken so much time out of his life to help guide me and give me advice when he doesn't have to, because he is so much more established than I will ever be in this industry. But it's so great to see people who recognize not just talent, but people who have the same heart and respect for this industry, who
Yeah.
want to make it a good place for everyone. And so having people like that surround you makes just every experience you have, big or small, just even better.
I agree. That's the way the industry should be. Regardless of your role, you should respect everyone when you're working with them. That's the thing. So, is there anything you're wanting to pursue that you're yet to do? Obviously, I know you said you're involved with video editing. You do obviously your acting modeling, but is there anything else you're yet to do that you want to do?
I I have some modeling things that I want to do that I kind of, I've shied away from just because, personal fears and things that I preach so much against. I want to follow through on my own, and whatever happens, I want to just see that through. So that, I think, is a goal of mine for this year. I created a sports documentary a couple years ago, and I really enjoyed making it. So I think I'd like to make another sports documentary. So
Nice.
that another passion project I think I would like to do, because I'm a huge fan of shows like Hard Knocks and things like that, where you kind of show the real kind of gritty real life behind these amazing people and what they go through.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because professional sports will always be, I had such a great time when I was in the NFL. I just love, like I said, just telling these stories of these people who come from nothing, and they're the most incredible athletes like we will ever see in our lifetime. It's just such a great experience, and being around them is so inspiring. So yeah, I really enjoyed doing that. And
Nice. That's awesome. So when you said you're obviously an NFL cheerleader, what are the expectations like? Is it obviously because you're in obviously the biggest league in American football? What's it like for the pressure wise for being a cheerleader?
so I was living in California, where I'm from, and I had a friend who was also a single mom who was cheering.
Right.
And so I'd never expected to find myself in Minnesota, of all places, not a big fan of the cold.
Okay.
But I wasn't, I was young 20s and I wasn't really doing anything else. So I packed us up and we came here, and I went to tryouts, and I was the palest person in the room, which I didn't think was possible coming from Southern California to Minnesota. But I had no idea, like the spray tans and the rhinestones and the hair and the everything. So I felt like such a fish out of water. But I kept going through the rounds, and then I was invited to the training program that really prepares you, with what to expect in media training and all the things that I guess you wouldn't even think about.
Of course, yeah.
When you're not familiar. I was the nerd in high school who actually never made the cheerleading squad.
Oh, okay.
So I really had no idea what I was getting myself into. But yeah, it was a great experience, and it opened a lot of doors for my career that was unexpected. I love seeing how much it has evolved now from when I was involved, because there were quite a bit of unrealistic beauty standards.
Right.
And now we see, the many squads that are including male cheerleaders, which I think is fantastic and we should have been doing a long time ago. Huge fan of the Saints cheerleaders, who have had, mid 40-year-olds like on the team. Like, I love that. I think there is no age limit for, if you have a skill and a passion. I don't think we need to stop that just because we're over the age of 25,
I agree.
or because we're a parent now, or, these things that I don't know, they just kind of became a stereotype. But I love seeing that shattered. And so I love seeing the dance industry and the cheerleading industry, especially, going away from that and including more people.
I agree, because I think people are just afraid of what people would think. That's why guys took so long to be involved with these sorts of sports like cheerleading. I think that's the main reason why they didn't want to be in the limelight. Like you said, they should have always been. But I understand maybe the reason why people didn't want to do it. But
Yeah, well, especially in the NFL, where you're standing on the sidelines to like the most manly men, right?
yeah,
You're like
exactly.
a 300-pound linebacker and stuff like that. But my daughters are both involved in cheerleading, and these
Oh,
male
cool.
athletes are some of the strongest and most skilled like talents out there.
Yeah,
And it's not what people think it is. And so I love seeing, men in the NFL cheerleading industry. And I think it's a great, safe place for people to feel included and to really follow what it is that they love. And if that's dance, like go be in the NFL. Like who cares?
absolutely. Exactly. Do what you love. That's all you need to do. Yeah. So we'll finish with one final question. I know we've obviously touched on a few things you want to do down the line, but what are your main goals and hopes for the next few years?
Oh, what I loved about moving to Florida was that we have Atlanta right there, and Atlanta really is the new Hollywood,
Yeah, I've
and
heard. Yeah.
so many amazing productions coming out of there. So I'd like to do a lot more work in Atlanta. I would like to do things that push my norm of the characters that I play. I love playing darker roles
Okay.
and things like that. So I would like to do a bit more of that. And I'm just open to whatever, the universe has in store for me. And I'm just going to keep working hard, and hopefully I continue to get to meet amazing people like the Cobra Kai crew,
Of
and be
course.
a part of productions like that, because that was totally unexpected. But I think if you just keep training and leave yourself open to saying yes to opportunities that come, that they'll just, better than you can even expect, they'll just show up for you, and just be prepared to take them and don't be afraid.
That's the best way to be. And you've got a great attitude, obviously, about how everything goes. Obviously, because you said you're a mom and you've obviously dealt with your acting world. So, yeah, it's really cool to hear. And I look forward to seeing some of your, obviously, the sci fi thing you said that's coming out at some point. So, I look forward to that. Or fantasy, did you say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll
So, yeah,
see.
exactly. Well, thank you, Sarah. It's been really cool chatting with you today. So, thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
You're very welcome. Hope you have a great day and take care.
Thanks so much.
All the best.
Bye.
Bye bye.